Senator Pekarsky? Here. Senator Stanley? Senator Favola? You have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, the first bill on our docket is House Bill 223, and it is significantly similar to Senate Bill 11. Delegate Mara is here.
Quite happy to have it conformed, Madam Chairman.
Okay.
I believe staff has that language.
Okay. All right. So the patron wisely has asked that we adopt
I've never been accused of that, Madam
that we
Chairman.
put a substitute that we put a substitute on House Bill 223, so it conforms to Senate Bill 11.
I would love to spend conference time with you, Madam Chair, but it's all right.
It's magical. It is magical.
So may I have a motion?
So move the amendment.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of the substitute signify by saying aye. Aye. Those who wish to vote out House Bill 223 with the substitute?
Move report as amended.
Second.
Okay, will the clerk please call the roll? I have to do a roll call vote when we're recommending reporting out a substitute.
This is like old fashioned. I love it.
Senator Pekarsky?
Yes.
Senator Stanley?
Aye.
Senator Favola?
Aye.
Ayes 3, no 0.
Thank you. Well,
Thank you,
hopefully.
Madam Chairman, members of the subcommittee.
Thank you. So maybe you can just accept it and I can just accept it on my side and we'll be happy. Okay.
Were you begging right there? Please.
I'm trying to limit these conference committees.
Yes, no, I'm with
Okay, HB 1354, Delegate Martinez. This is the first time before our subcommittee, right?
The best.
you. There you
The
go.
best.
Right.
Man, he
Start
has
on the
that
right
up
foot.
the charm.
Madam Chair, Committee, thank you for allowing me to come here and present HB 1354. Well, HB 54 is basically a bill prohibiting declawing in our Commonwealth unless it's in the event of therapeutic or otherwise necessary purposes. I do have an amendment that we attached, and I'll let the
So on line 23, after animals, we're going to strike or owners. And then after health, we are going to insert something to the effect of, comma, as documented by a licensed veterinarian, comma.
Well, I have more points to make, but I think there are supporters here of this bill that could probably do it better than I could, so I'll defer to allowing them to speak. If
Sure.
that's okay with the chairman.
Okay, will the speakers come forward? If those in favor, please come forward. Keep your comments to 2 minutes or less.
Please come right now. Come on, that's funny.
James Turpin, Alley Cat Allies. We support this bill and think it's time to end this cruel and inhumane process, and it's a chance for Virginia to take the lead. 2 states have this right now. Michigan is in the process of passing it, and then Washington, D.C. also has it. So it's a time we can be one of the early states rather than the last. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee, my name is Tabitha Treelor. I'm with the Richmond SPCA and also speaking on behalf of the Virginia Federation of Humane Societies. We have more than 113 shelters around the Commonwealth who are members of the Federation, and we thank Delegate Martinez for bringing this bill. We have really appreciated the work of the Virginia Veterinary Medical Association to come with a compromise, and we do hope that you will support it. We do need to let the VVMA ask about.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. Susan Seward with the Virginia Veterinary Medical Association. And if I could start out, if someone, I'm not sure that amendment is doing exactly what maybe it was as it was presented to me. I think what we're trying to achieve is declawing will be prohibited unless there is an injury, an abscess, an infection in a cat, a physical problem with the cat. The other concern that the veterinary community has is, on occasion, these procedures are done when the owner has an issue like HIV, hepatitis, hemophilia, where the physician's owner would recommend that it's in the best interest of the owner to perhaps have this procedure done. So it was my understanding we were clarifying that in the case of an owner issue, that would be documented by the physician. So that was my understanding. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me.
That is my understanding of our amendment.
Okay.
It has to be documented by a licensed physician.
Madam Chair,
Right. I think, though, maybe it was read veterinarian, not physician. I didn't think I heard physician, but I just wanted to be
Okay.
sure.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, so we also the subcommittee struck or owners. So would it make sense if we struck or owners to then say something about a physician?
Right.
So
If
we
we're
have-
striking or owners, I
And
thought
we-
we were
and-
saying, as, you know, the cat's existing abnormal condition, recurring infection, disease, injury, that would be as documented by a licensed veterinarian.
Right.
That was my understanding of the.
Okay.
But also,
So
Madam
after,
Chair.
okay, Senator Stanley.
And I think what we were trying to get at is documented by a veterinarian on those maladies of the cat.
Right.
But then also in these small circumstances where someone has a cat and the puncture by the nail would be at risk of their own health or life. But in those small, limited circumstances, that if a physician then
Right.
gave such approval or made such recommendation, then that physician's statement could be presented to whomever
board of
does
vet
this
medicine.
macabre
Yes.
thing in declawing cats.
Right.
So I guess.
And that would be permitted, and that limited part, is that true?
That is true. That is what we are seeking.
So a
Yes.
veterinarian would be considered a licensed physician, though? No.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair.
Okay.
So I think we're taking it in two parts. One is if it's necessary for the cat's health, well-being, life,
Documented.
by a veterinarian,
Okay.
or in the instances where it is in the best interest of the health and life of the owner.
Right.
And I'd really, ask questions, in what cases would that be? But I think Ms. Seward has done a very good job, a hemophiliac who might get
Yes.
punctured and bleed out.
There are a handful of those.
Right, and that's very limited. So if that happens, then or would be documented by a physician, who then takes it
so
to the
let's-
witch doctor who removes the
Let's, maybe I can ask staff then to just reiterate what these changes are, because I have one change on 22 and then another later down.
Madam Chair, so what I was provided was, so first on line 23, after animals, that we wanted to strike or owners. So it would just read that jeopardizes the animal's health. And then second, we were going to insert as documented by a licensed veterinarian.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's fine on the First Amendment. Now I think we're talking about a Second Amendment as well. And I'm not quite sure where it would go, but Senator Stanley's point that there may be situations where the owner of the cat has a medical condition that whose life or health would be at risk if the cat clawed him. So let me give you a moment to work on that, and we'll continue to take comment.
And yes, so with that change, we support the bill. We appreciate the delegate working with us, and I
Okay.
think this will get us where we need to be.
I think so. So we'll read the amendment after public comment. And we can do it in concept. Okay, all right. Would the next speaker come forward?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Penelope Gapitas, and I'm with David Bailey Associates, and I'm currently a student down the street at VCU. I want to express that we strongly support this bill. Declawing is both painful and traumatic and has been outlawed in Germany and other parts of Europe as a form of cruelty. Declawing is invasive, violent, and unnecessary mutilation, which leaves cats virtually defenseless. So again, we vigorously support this bill. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Ms. Whitley.
Madam Chair, Brittany Whitley, representing Best Friends Animal Society. We support about 115 partner organizations in the Commonwealth and have about 70,000 members here, and we support the bill.
Oh, good, thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. My name is Daphne Nekminovich. I represent People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals and our nearly 145,000 members and supporters in the Commonwealth, and we support this legislation and appreciate your work on it. Thank you. And thank you, Delegate Martinez.
Delegate Martinez, are you comfortable with the second line amendment we're discussing, which talks about the health and life of the owner and having a licensed physician document that the cat's clause would need to be?
Madam Chair, if you're twisting my arm, I am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Senator Stanley moves that we adopt the amendment I just talked.
Madam Chair, I think what we have to do is, having voted on the prevailing side by which we adopted the First Amendment, I now ask that that vote be reconsidered.
I would consider the First Amendment one-line amendment. Second Amendment's a second-line amendment. We didn't adopt your amendment. We didn't adopt your language in the First Amendment. This is an add-on.
Madam Chair, if I can just inquire of the clerk, is that correct? Not requiring to rewind? Or are we safer to rewind? Rewind?
Okay.
I'll reiterate my motion, having voted on the prevailing side, by which we adopted the amendment to House Bill 1354. I now seek that we reconsider that vote.
Okay. Second. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that was unanimous consent. So now I will ask the clerk to read the amendment again, and then we can vote on.
I hope I got it right this time, but so we are after animals on line 23, striking or owners, and then inserting after health as documented by a licensed veterinarian, and then a second amendment to say generally that the owner of the cat, if they have a medical condition and that's documented by a licensed physician, then the declawing is allowed.
Newly amended bill before us. Are you happy with the bill?
Yes.
Would you be happier if we reported it out? Move to report.
As amended.
I would have.
Okay, motion has been made to report as amended. There's a second. Will the clerk call the roll?
Senator Pekarsky?
Yes.
Senator Stanley?
Of course.
Senator Favola?
Aye.
Ayes 3, no 0.
Okay.
You know,
So
Delegate, this is going to change your life. You understand that?
we are going to recommend to our parent committee that this bill be reported. The Senate operates a little differently from the House.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I understand that. And I want to thank you for bringing the bill forward. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I don't think you'll have to appear before the full committee. They usually accept the recommendation of the subcommittee, especially with Senator Stanley and Senator Pekarsky on the full committee. Not necessarily because of me, but my colleagues.
We should include free scratching posts for everybody who falls under this.
The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.